Hey y'all, Ryan McGough in Telecom Investments. Want to ask you guys to like and subscribe to the channel, okay? If I put something out that has value to you, share it, let somebody else know. And today I want to talk a little bit about real estate and in the sense of processes and scaling. I'm on my way to a bodybuilding competition down in North Carolina, and we're stopped to charge up a little bit, and I figured I would make a moment to put something out here. And one thing that we have always had in mind was the long term, was the processes, was the procedures, but it doesn't always work like that. And a lot of times I hear, on the podcasts, on the bigger podcasts and that, they're talking about, you don't need to buy bad deals, or you don't need to, struggle in any sense of trying to hire good contractors, get good deals, and that all looks great on paper, right? Find a good deal in a good area that cash flows, buy that, right? And then of course you get a receipt. Like, it is, of course, sounds good and looks good on paper. And if you can do that because you can negotiate a great deal in the beginning, and you have the money to buy it, great. You should definitely do that, and that should be the process. For me, I have a lot of things that look that look bad on paper, that make me look like a bad lendee, if you will, to some degree, right? I'm an entrepreneur. I don't have those 2 years of tax returns. I own another company, telecom company, that has ups and downs in its cash flow. Like, we get a big project in, we buy a bunch of materials on credit cards, all of those things. So, and also, in a lot of times it was too hard to even find contractors for certain projects. But what I mean by we always had the end in mind is we always believed that since we manage construction in other trades, like if we get a telecom project in Louisville, Kentucky, right, which is actually how I got started in the real estate industry in Louisville, because I had a telecom project. So I had to scale a team up there, right? We did the project, we scaled back down. So for us, it was nothing to do that, to go to a new area, get a project, like look for labor in that area, give good jobs to the people there. For that time, manage it, right? Now I can manage it remotely if needed. I go there, start up, hire the right people, know what they look like, and all that. So for us, that was always our motto in real estate, right? Is to go to a new area, get a project, develop the relationships in that area with realtors, the relationships in that area with private funders, the relationships in that area with contractors, or with just people who do good work, right? And find a mixture of all those things to create projects there, with the intent to give good jobs to people in that area that are high paying, maybe even pay more than the competition even, right? Give them freedom and autonomy, right? To try to figure things out themselves, but use data and use technology to be able to also see what they're doing, understand what they're doing, and use it to give them raises and bonuses if they're doing a great job, but also use it to say, oh, this kind of way this was done wasn't, or we're a little behind. So that's our kind of idea of how we do things. But back to what I was saying before, is it didn't always start like that. It didn't at all start like that. And in the beginning, it was like I put all my money into it. I had to find another partner because I had gotten a lot of fights when I was younger. I had a lot of, problems with addiction and all kinds of things in my past, right? That I had to overcome, that put me down way below a lot of other people on the list of who are we going to lend money to, or, how do you get a loan for your first deal, right? So trust me, like, when you look at us saying we just developed into a new area or all that, I mean, as I sit here with all of my tattoos and all of my, my scars of the past, right? But a lot of times we judge things and people on paper without even understanding that maybe they're different than they were then, right? But I understand it. I mean, we hire people at the same time. It's not always so cut and dry. The one thing I'll always say is I'll give anybody a chance, but I know very quickly if you're the same person that you were on that paper or you're different, right? I'll know extremely quickly, and I'll trust people that are different but maybe have a past. But there's something that has to happen to make them change, right? You just don't say, oh yeah, I have this huge record and I'm totally different, right? For me, it was, sobriety and then changing all of my circumstances and outlooks and everything, and getting, putting away the stuff that was causing me problems and issues in my life, right? So I had to put those down, and that was not easy, right? I had to make a decision to say, these things that I'm investing my time in are not giving any kind of a return on that investment, right? And if I'm an investor, right, that's what I am, that's what I do, that's my claim to this world, and my purpose now is to take something and make it better and more valuable, and I do that in all these different ways. I have to do it myself first, right? So there's always some level of self that has to go into it, always some level of change. But so I didn't look good on paper, right? I didn't. People didn't want to lend to me. I had to go out and get private money and build those relationships. And we don't know what we don't know. And a lot of times we couldn't find the contractors we were looking for. We couldn't get a good group of people out there. And we got left with a lot of bad work and inconsistent people and all of that in the beginning. So I had to do most of the work myself. I mean, literally, and I would bring my car down. I'd stay somewhere for the whole week. I'd work from like sun up to like 2-3 in the morning, like, carpentry, framing walls, doing floors, sealing in, all of it, like just doing so much and just getting so tired and exhausted, thinking like, man, is this ever gonna end? But I got money from people that trusted me and believed in me, and I never let them down. And if I had to do it all myself, then I did it all myself. So like, of course, when we talk about like, you don't want to and can't do it all yourself, and don't get into a situation with that, and don't raise money if you don't know what you're doing and all that. And I totally get it. But like, the one thing I know about myself is I was never gonna fail. I was never gonna quit. I was never gonna not make something happen or make something work. I was never gonna not put everything that I had into it, right? So I knew that when they signed up with me, that the three things that I tell myself, right, are that I'm the hardest worker on the face of the earth. I'm the hardest worker ever. Like, I don't quit, I don't give up, I don't take no for an answer. I work my ass off and I work hard. 2, my brain is like a supercomputer to processes, right? I see processes here, there, this, make connections, lightning fast. Like, I have the way of just thinking about a project and being able to like open it all up and see it from the inside. Like when they show an engine, and they break that engine up into a spec, and it's like this screw, right? And it like explodes the engine. Like, that's what I'm able to do with things in my mind. So I can blow the house up, look at the pipe work, look at all that, and say like, oh, we're 50% on the plumbing, we're 70, and like I literally could see it like that, like a supercomputer, and like a rendered, exploded version, and just like spin it around in my mind. So that's the beautiful thing the gift that I was given there. So that, with the hard work and that ability to see things, makes me a great project manager, right? Able to do and visualize the project all the way through. And then the third thing that I had to tell myself, or that my call to this world, is a visionary. Like, I just can visualize things extremely well, extremely passionate about. So why did I go out and raise money? Did I do all the work myself? Did I work late nights and go on trips and stay in a hotel for weeks at a time, right? Because I couldn't find houses in my backyard, right? I had to find them further out in cheaper neighborhoods. I couldn't get your regular hard money lending. They tell me, no, we don't want to lend to you. Your background, you're this, you're that. Your credit, you're this, you're that. Even though hard money and background and all that should be lending on the property being a good property itself, right? Which actually I'm the best one to see that, because we analyze the market to make offers. 1, 2, we know the construction scope, like the real construction scope, and it was something that's like $100,000, we're able to do for like $30,000 or $40,000, right? So if we say we're going to take 50 or 60,000 and we're able to do it in 40, now we've cut our costs on that. So like we actually are the best ones to analyze that from a contractor standpoint, because we are contractors. So, but it doesn't always work like that. So we can't get the lending, right? That's our problem. The deals, we can't find them where we live because it's a hot market, right? We have to go further out. And then, putting those two things together, we have to raise money in other places, even though we don't have the track record. So like all this make it extremely hard, and we pushed through it and we did it and make it happen and make it work. And I had to do a lot myself and grind on that level. And we did, but we always had the processes and procedures in mind, right? Hello. Into expanding into the future, into expanding into a new place, building those relationships there. And so now we are, we've got a crew in Louisville. We're building those relationships with realtors, looking for deals. And now we're going to start looking for investors in that area to find some dedicated funding sources, right? And then now we have one in the lower Virginia area, the Richmond to Virginia Beach area, and then up into that Maryland coast where we've done deals. So we're starting to build the partnerships, to build the relationships with lenders and funding, not even lenders, but funding partners that see what we're doing and that want a piece of that. And the deals are coming in consistently. We're making offers. The relationships that we've built are building that up. So when we post these things about getting into new markets and expanding and developing, it is huge. But don't miss the part that like everybody told me that it wasn't possible and that we weren't the right people to lend to and that we'd never find a deal and that it was just easy and now we're just expanding into a new place and all that. So if you're investing, if you want to be a partner, if you want to jump in, this is what we're about. This is how we're doing it. I think we have way less risk than a lot of the other people because we're able to manage some of the other things like construction costs, and we're actually marketing and doing the marketing ourselves. We don't buy from wholesalers. We let a lot of deals go, and we do our own due diligence on them, on our properties. And a lot of times we'll find that the construction that we thought is a lot less than anticipated, and all of that. So it is one thing that we believe we're actually better than the market at, and better than some of the other people out there that might look better on paper. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. That's how we're developing into new places. We're expanding, and we're in multiple places, and we're growing some of these other things. So yeah, if that helped or that was any kind of value to you, like, subscribe. I'll put more stuff out on bodybuilding, on health, on mindset, on business, on real estate, because I think all these things are valuable and are the whole picture of a successful and wealthy and happy life. So we're doing it. Not to say it's easy, and not to say we didn't go through any of it, if not more than maybe other people, or we started farther at the bottom than other people did. But we're putting it together, and still wearing a hat, and still doing it with tattoos, and still doing it the way we want to do it, and the way that I'm designing it. So I'll never change that for anybody. But good luck on your path, and if they tell you can't do it and it's not possible, don't believe it, because it is possible and you are capable. And by me telling you what I'm doing, right, it just should show you that you're capable of doing the exact same thing. So I hope I give you as much value as possible, and that you come away with a huge rush of energy and excitement to go headstrong into it, into what the next step is to get your real estate business off the ground, to expand into different places, right? And whatever that next step is, if I can help you in any way, let me know. And that's what I'm out here doing. So that's real estate, and that's expansion, and that's scaling, and that's processes, and mindset too, to get into the right place, the right mindset. So I'm back on the road, and I'll be talking about my bodybuilding competition soon enough.